Hey guys, it's me Simo Orahara, and in this video we're gonna talk about why Aizen Sasuke didn't use Kyoka Suigetsu against Ichigo Kurosaki. And to start guys this topic, if you asked me which Zanpakuto ability do you find the most terrifying, the ability that leaves a haunting impression on those who face it, I would immediately say Kyoka Suigetsu. Sure, there are more deadly powers in the story, like the flames of Ryujin Jakka that reach millions of degrees in the Bankai state, or Gen's Bankai poison which almost killed Aizen, or even Ichimunji's power that erases and adds names. But Kyoka Wigitsu, despite being a Zanpakuto without any offensive techniques like the others, holds power of a terrifying kind, because its power lies in its ability to completely strip the enemy of their sense of reality by manipulating all five senses. Just seeing the Shikai once, it's enough to put the opponent entirely in Aizen's hands. But that's not all guys. Kyoka's true power is how nearly impossible it is to escape its illusion. Its weaknesses are extremely few. That's why guys, when the Shinigami discovered what Kyoka Suigetsu could do, their greatest concern wasn't about fighting Aizen, but how to break free from his Zanpakuto's illusion. How can you fight someone when you don't even know where he is? Even Yamamoto sacrificed himself to grab hold of Aizen's directly and avoid being affected by Kyoka Suigetsu. Meanwhile, the others were completely helpless, as we saw clearly in episode 293. I mean, the poor ones, the Goju 13 and the Vizards were defeated by Kyoka Suigetsu, all while Aizen was using nothing but a regular sword. So when Ichigo arrived in the Soul Society, it turned out he was the only one who never saw the Shikai, the Shikai release, and thus was not affected by Kyoka Suigetsu. The big question arose: why didn't Aizen even trap Ichigo in his illusion? Why didn't he use his Zanpakuto's ability to secure absolute victory? What made Aizen Sasuke hold back from doing that? These questions, guys, strike at the core of Aizen's philosophy, Aizen's personality, his mindset, and his entire relationship with Ichigo. That's why guys, let's try to explore this together. What are the reasons that made Aizen Sasuke never use Kyoka Suigetsu against Ichigo? And so we can understand this guys, we need to start with Eizens Goal, what he was trying to achieve and what he needed to do that. At certain point in his life, when Aizen discovered the truth about the ruler of the world and what happened to the Soul King Ryu, he realized that he was just a tool at the hands of the Shinigami. So Aizen decided to overturn the entire structure of the world he lived in. And beyond his convictions that pushed him to want to eliminate the Soul King, Aizen knew he was powerful, spiritually stronger than most of the Shinigamis. And add to that the power of Kyoka Suigetsu. All of these ingredients made him pursue his goal with calm and precision. But as I said in the past guys, Aizen was fully aware of the Soul King's power, where he was located and who were protecting him. That's why guys, he was seeking to create the Hogyuku, a device that would allow him to break limits and transcend dimensional boundaries, to become something greater, powerful enough to reach his goal. And so guys, you could say that this was Aizen's master plan, long before Ichigo even existed. A clear path that he was walking, and anything that happened along the way would be just part of that roadmap, so to speak. And among those new events was Ichigo's birth. Ichigo's arrival can be considered one of the few things that weren't part of Aizen's original plan, and yet it aligned perfectly with Aizen's worldview. How is that? During Isshin's battle with White, Isshin had gone to the human world on his own will, and suddenly a Quincy girl appeared on the battlefield. And as we know, the battle ended with her being infected by White's poison and linking her fate to Isshin's. And that actually was a gift from the heavens, dropped right in Aizen's hands, and it triggered something in him, which is curiosity. What if? This is a dangerous question, especially when it comes from a man like Aizen Sasuke, a scientist, a mastermind. What if this encounter resulted in a being who combined all four powers, Shinigami, Hollow, Human, and Quincy? There is no doubt that the marriage of Isshin and Masaki and the birth of Ichigo Kurosaki made Aizen see Ichigo as a fascinating experiment, especially if Aizen already knew the true nature of the Soul King and how he possessed multiple powers, Shinigami, Quincy, human, and even Fullbring abilities. So while Aizen was busy developing the Hogyoku and building an army of Arankars to attack the Gote 13, he also included Ichigo in his long-term plans by growing his powers so he could later test him against himself. And so he wanted Ichigo to evolve, to bring out every ounce of potential, so Aizen could measure his own strength against him. That's why guys, Aizen never even needed to trap Ichigo into Kyoka Suigetsu, because Kyoka Suigetsu in most of Aizen's uses was a strategic tool first, and only then a weapon in combat. And that's what some fans overlook, guys. Kyoka Suigetsu was crucial in making Aizen's scheme succeed. But Kyoka Suigetsu wasn't Aizen's true power. Aizen's real strength lies in his own overwhelming power, Ryatsu. And actually guys can explain this perfectly when some of the captains believed that neutralizing Kyoka Suigetsu would be enough to defeat Aizen. And more than that guys, from another angle, in every meeting between Ichigo and Aizen, Aizen never felt the need to use Kyoka Suigetsu because Ichigo wasn't yet at the level where he could pose any real threat to him. Not during the Soul Society arc, not even after Ichigo discovered the truth about his father Isshin. Because guys, the moment Aizen merged with the Hogyoku and began his transformation series that broke down dimensional boundaries, so the level of power he reached made him abandon the need for Kyoka Suigetsu. He no longer needed his Zanpakuto's ability. Perhaps he even saw it as a thing of the past, belonging to his former one-dimensional Shinigami self. And this became clear in his fight against Orohara Kizuki, and Kizuki even mentioned that Aizen Sasuke had started to let his guard down, and Aizen's answer was simple. He didn't feel the need to worry anymore. He no longer needed to think cautiously. So we can say that in Aizen's eyes, Ichigo was a developing experiment, as we have said, something to be pushed forward and strengthened. And at the same time, Aizen himself was gaining new power. All of this made Aizen rely less and less on Kyoka Suigetsu, which is why he never used it against Ichigo. And more than that guys, the moment Ichigo went out from the Dangai, by that point it was already too late to use Kyoka Suigetsu. Ichigo had reached a whole new level of power, one that illusion-based abilities like Kyoka Suigetsu could no longer affect him. So guys, these are the reasons why Aizen Sasuke didn't use Kyoka Suigetsu against Ichigo. What do you think? Do you have guys another opinion, other reasons that I didn't mention in this video? Share them guys with me in the comments and see you in my next video.